Erik ten Hag dreams of becoming the Bayern Munich manager. Manchester United officially approach Premier League defenders' entourage over a potential summer deal. United confirmed to sign a striker this summer, as per Fabrizio Romano, and Casemiro injury struggles revealed. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this evening's show. But before we jump into that, please smash a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight on into it. Let's start the show off with some positivity then, shall we, as I always like to do on this show. So this is coming out from Fabrizio Romano, a journalist I really like. I'd say he's probably the best journalist in football at the moment. And he is reporting this evening that Manchester United will sign a striker this summer. He says the club haven't yet decided whether to go for a young striker or an experienced one. Now, what I want to do here is I want to open up the chat for you guys to get involved. I want you to let me know, who should Manchester United sign in the striker position this summer? Now, I listened through the full podcast where Fabrizio's talking about this, and he says, well, Martial's contract expires in June. Manchester United will have to sign a striker, 100%, because as it stands at the moment, we have Rasmus Højlund and Anthony Martial, and that's it. We've got two strikers, which probably isn't actually enough, really, is it? And Martial's been injured all season. So, and Rasmus Højlund's had his troubles as well. So, I mean, at points we've had no striker. So it's kind of obvious that that we will sign a striker. But it's good to hear from such a reliable source that that Manchester United will be going for a striker this summer. Now, one of the names we've been heavily linked to in the last couple of hours and days is that of Benjamin Sesko from Red Bull Leipzig. He's apparently available for £43 million. He has a release clause, 20 years of age. He's got 7 goals and 2 assists in the Bundesliga so far, which, funnily enough, is exactly the same amount of goals and assists as what Rasmus Højlund has in the Premier League. I think Benjamin Sesko would be a brilliant signing. 20 years of age, very young, very talented. I think he could go on to be a world-class striker. Obviously, he's got years ahead of him. If you compare him with, say, someone like Harry Kane, Harry Kane at the age of 20 was doing a lot less than what players like Benjamin Sesko and Rasmus Højlund are. We have to remind ourselves of this sometimes, you know? So, yeah, I think Benjamin Sesko would be a really interesting option. Fabrizio Romano also talks about players like Ivan Toney could be on the horizon. It's ultimately two different profiles of player. You either go for a young striker like Benjamin Sesko, or you go for a more experienced one like Ivan Toney. And I want you guys to let me know, what would you like to do? For me personally, I think a younger profile would be better. I want to see us building for the future. And I really, really think that he would be the best option. I do. I would love to see, our strikers for the next 10 years to be Benjamin Sesko and Rasmus Højlund. That really excites me. Another player who could be really interesting is Joshua Zirkzee. Again, very, very young. He is, you say he's very young. He's 22. He's a little bit older than Højlund and Benjamin Sesko, but still young in the grand scheme of things. Zirkzee's got 10 goals and 4 assists in the Serie A so far this season, playing for Bologna. I can never say that name very well. Playing for Bologna. They signed him for only 8.5 million euros from Bayern Munich a couple of seasons ago. Again, he would be an interesting option. He is currently injured though. I think he would be around 40 to 50 million pounds is kind of what I'm hearing. Obviously, Arsenal are very interested in him as well. He is Dutch. If Erik ten Hag was to remain as the United manager, we know Erik ten Hag likes the Dutch players. Is he somebody we'd go for? For me personally, yes, it has to be a younger profile. It has to be someone like Benjamin Sesko or Joshua Zirkzee, because I think as good as Ivan Toney is, he's going to cost you nearly 100 million. And I think he's 28 years of age. And for me, I think that's a little bit old. And I would rather just bring through younger profile options. But what I want you to do, as I said, is get in the comment section. Let me know, who should Manchester United sign in the striker position this summer? I always like to see what you guys have to say. So make sure you get involved and let me know what your thoughts are. Moving on to the next story, and that is going to be about the manager. This is coming out from a very, very reliable journalist, Christian Falk, one of the best journalists in the Bundesliga. Very, very reliable tier 1 journalist in the Bundesliga. And he is reporting this afternoon that Erik ten Hag dreams of returning to Bayern Munich as the manager one day, should he become available. Bayern will discuss Erik ten Hag as potential new manager. I mean, what does everybody think about that? That's pretty mad, isn't it? Although, for anybody who's been watching the shows regularly, for the last kind of 6 or so months, I've been saying this for ages. I can see Erik ten Hag at Bayern Munich. I can just see it. Think about it for a second, right? Erik ten Hag was the under-21s manager at Bayern Munich. when Pep Guardiola was there. He was there for a good 2 or 3 years and he did really, really well. We know that Erik ten Hag wanted to sign Harry Kane. Where is Harry Kane? At Bayern Munich. We know that Erik ten Hag wanted to sign a couple of other Bayern Munich players, didn't he? And I just think it's written in the stars for me personally, and I think that he would do really well at Bayern Munich. I don't know why, I just have this feeling like that I can see him at Bayern Munich and see him doing well. Obviously, De Ligt, another player he obviously he had at Ajax, and another player he's tried to sign at Manchester United. We've been linked to Sasha Bowie, the right back, who was at Galatasaray before. He's just moved to Bayern Munich. Obviously, Joshua Kimmich, Goretzka, we seem to be linked to them constantly. There's about 4 or 5 players. Obviously, Kim Min-jae as well. We nearly signed him last summer. He's there. There's literally like 4 or 5, if not more, players in that Bayern Munich squad where Erik ten Hag's either worked with them before or they've been number 1 targets for Manchester United. Our 2 number 1 targets last summer was Kim Min-jae and Harry Kane. Both of them are at Bayern Munich. So I actually think that this could happen. I genuinely do. My stance has always been that I want Erik ten Hag to stay. I think we would massively regret letting Erik ten Hag leave Manchester United. I think it would be a terrible decision. I think it would set us backwards. And I think that all you have to do is look at the stories that are coming out saying that Graham Potter and Gareth Southgate are the 2 most likely options to replace him, to just sit there and pull your hair out, to be honest, because that worries me. It does. It scares me. It really, really does. And I think the fact that teams like Bayern Munich, who are levels above us, are sniffing round our manager says something. It really, really does. So yeah, well, obviously I'll keep you updated on this one. I pray and hope that Jim Ratcliffe does the right thing and gives Erik ten Hag 1 more season. But if he doesn't, I can see Erik ten Hag at Bayern Munich next year, and I think he'll do well. I really, really do. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Keeping on the manager really quickly, Rob Dawson from ESPN has been talking about Erik ten Hag's job, and he says, while Erik ten Hag understands his job at Manchester United isn't currently secure, he also doesn't believe that Jim Ratcliffe and his team have made a decision on terminating his deal yet. He says Ten Hag has been fully involved in planning for both the next transfer window and the organisation of the summer tour of the United States. But according to sources, he hasn't been given any formal guarantee that he will continue as the United manager. I mean, the fact that these stories are still coming out, even though we just went and beat Liverpool 4-3 in what I described as the best game of football I've seen from Manchester United in probably 10 years. I was literally off my seat for most of it, excited. Whereas usually I'm sat there thinking, what the hell am I watching? Why am I wasting my weekend? Being honest, I'm always going to support Manchester United and I'm always going to watch it no matter how bad it gets. But this season, when you, I don't know, say you've got a nice walk planned or something and you rush home to watch the football and we end up getting slapped 3-0 at home to Bournemouth and we play terrible, you do sit there and wonder, why am I wasting my weekend watching this crap? But that game on the weekend was absolutely box office. It was unbelievable and it got me really excited. And I think the fact that these journalists are still writing these stories saying that Erik ten Hag's job's, in danger, it worries me. It really, really does. And I think that there is a very strong possibility that he won't be our manager next season. And I think that would be a massive mistake because if genuinely Gareth Southgate is the best they can conjure up, then we're going backwards. We're setting ourselves back years. And do you know what I found really, really funny over the last 24 hours is, all of the talk sports, all of the kind of mainstream media, Sky Sports. I watched 2 or 3 videos today where a panel in the TalkSport studio or in the Sky Sports studio, they're arguing that Gareth Southgate should become the Man United manager and are saying that the England job is as difficult as the Man United job and the scrutiny around England is what are they talking about? England haven't won anything since the 1960s. Like, how can they say that the England job is the same level of scrutiny as Manchester United, the biggest football club in the world with hundreds of millions of fans worldwide? There's only about 60 million people who live in England, and I'm pretty sure half of them probably don't even like football. So it's a stupid comparison, and it's really, really frustrated me today because there's so many people out there who conveniently don't support Manchester United, speaking on Sky Sports and on TalkSport, all saying, "Oh, he'd be a great manager at Manchester United." I saw Danny Murphy saying that he thought he would have done a better job than Erik ten Hag, and then Danny Murphy's asked, "Okay, well, in that case, why don't you take him at Liverpool?" "Oh, no, I don't want him at Liverpool." I mean, it's just complete crap. And it's really annoyed me, but it is what it is, isn't it? And that's why channels like this are good and other YouTube channels where, we can kind of give an honest opinion Whereas I think a lot of these people in the mainstream media are just doing it because they probably are friends with Gareth Southgate, or they're hoping that they'll get invited to something. It's, you know, it's biased, isn't it? But let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see Gareth Southgate at Manchester United? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's move over to some more transfer related stuff really quickly. This is coming out from a couple of different people saying that apparently Manchester United have spoken to Jared Brathwaite's entourage to see if he'd be interested in moving to the club in the summer. I really like this guy, obviously currently playing his football at Everton. He was on loan in the Eredivisie last season, had a really, really good loan spell at PSV, 21 years of age, quality player. I would welcome him at Manchester United 100%. The only thing I have an issue with this is the transfer fee is going to be ridiculous. We paid, what was it, £80 million for Harry Maguire. Everton are going to want a similar fee. They're going to want probably 60, 70 million, aren't they? Because they'll just turn around and say, you spent 80 million on Maguire, we want that fee for Jared Brathwaite. He's English as well, which obviously always bumps the price up. So as much as I like him, he's in the England team as well now. As much as I like him, I think the amount of money it would take to do this deal would be a little bit too much for Man United. And that's why maybe the John Clare Todibo type players would be a little bit more sensible, because we need to sign 5 or 6 players this summer minimum. And if we go and spend £80 million on a centre-back who might not even play that much, it doesn't make any sense. But let me know what you guys think. Do you want Jared Brathwaite, or is there somebody else you'd like to see? For me, I think he's a quality player, but I think the type of money would be too much. The final story we've got for you this evening is about Casemiro, and it's about his injury. And this is worrying, actually. It really, really is worrying. So apparently Casemiro felt an issue in his hamstring while training ahead of the Liverpool game. He then went to see the Manchester United doctors, who apparently then said there's nothing wrong with him, he's fine, and they didn't find a problem. Casemiro then apparently goes to see another doctor who he's worked with regularly, who then said he does have an injury and found the injury. So the reason I'm bringing this up is, do we need to look at our medical department? You know, at some points this season, we've had 10 or more first-team players out injured. You see someone like Lisandro Martinez come back from a lengthy injury, and then he gets injured again within 2 games and is out again for 3-4 months. It is worrying, and I think that the doctor medical department needs to be seriously scrutinised and reviewed by Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, because, like, injuries can make or break a season, and we've seen that this year. We really, really have. Our team has capitulated at times, and are you really surprised? Like, it doesn't surprise me at all when you see our injury list. It's ridiculous. So yeah, honestly, I'll keep you updated on Casemiro's injury, but yeah, it doesn't fill me with any hope, and I really hope that Jim Ratcliffe is getting on this and he's working out what's going on, because it's not acceptable. Right, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined me on the show this evening. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil, and I'll speak to you all a little bit later.